Hello and welcome to Tackling Doom Boxes, how to break the habit of stashing and dashing. I really look forward to hearing how you go about tackling your doom boxes, what does work, what do you often find in your doom boxes, and if you haven't heard the term before, I will tell you more about it in a second, and what are some tips that you can share. So as we're going along, feel free to unmute yourself and share, or we can definitely use the chat if you're feeling a little shy. So let's get stuck into it. So thanks for making the time to be here today. Have a bit of a think about what would be a good result for you coming along today. Is it something like, you finally want to deal with some of that stuff that's piling up around the house? Would you like to learn how to stop the cycle of this accumulation of boxes of stuff? Or would you like to feel lighter and more in control of your things? Or it might be something else. Share it in the chat. Let us know where you're from and what you're looking to learn today. I will introduce myself shortly. As I said, ask questions as we go along, and ask questions as you go along, either in the chat, as I said, or unmute yourself. As this is being recorded, we're going to put it on YouTube so others can see it, and also we'll share it with the people that were unable to make it in person today. So my business, Space and Time, is a decluttering and organising business here in Melbourne, in Australia. We are all about making conscious choices with how we use our space and our time. So we're not just going about things and doing things because that's how mum showed us or grandma showed us, whatever. That might not work for you in your current situation and your current family. So let's figure out a system for you and your family to create a simpler life. As I said before, and I will ask a few times, what's your intention today? Why did you come along? What are you looking to learn? Because changes are easier to make if you've got a bit of a clear intention. And I'll offer to continue our decluttering and organising journey towards the end of the session. That includes some more free workshops we've got coming up, and also a paid program, a 6-week program, just you and me. It's called Get and Stay Focused. So if you're finding it difficult to get some of these things done, you and I can meet once a week on Zoom for an hour with the Get and Stay Focused program. I'll share some more about that when we get at the end of the session. So what can you expect today? We're going to identify why doom boxes happen, how to sort doom box contents, create permanent homes for the stuff that accumulates in the boxes, maintenance tips, and continue the journey after today. I mean, this is going to be a fun, interactive session, but it's not just about that. We really want you to take the skills away with you today so that you can use them yourself and help you declutter and get organised at home. So here I am, Julie Cliff, professional organiser and declutter coach. Before starting my business 10 years ago, I was an executive assistant and administrator for 20 years, so always loving to help people get and stay organised. I now run a team of professional organisers here in Melbourne and Geelong. Married, husband is at work, and my 2 teenagers are in bed still at 10 a.m, those lucky ducks. One of them's getting up shortly to go out and see some friends because he's on school holidays. Before we get into tackling our doom boxes, we wanted to just have a quick look at the impact of clutter. Now, there's nothing new here. Everybody knows that clutter breeds stress and anxiety. It impacts our productivity and our focus because our brains just become overwhelmed. We look at the stuff and we go, ugh, where does it go? I don't know where to start. I haven't got enough time. So clutter can really weigh us down. And it affects our overall well-being. And it's not just when we're at home either. This clutter sort of weighs us down even when we walk out the front door. It's still in the back of our mind about what's going on at home. and can really affect all aspects of our lives. Our clients come from many places. Some of them have a lot of stuff. Some of them are minimalists and want even less stuff. They may have been told as they're growing up, they're lazy, they're messy, you need to throw this stuff out. But we often find that they are more organized than they think they are, and we need to convince them of that at times and just back themselves and put this persistent effort in to help them manage their clutter, which we're going to talk about today. So what is a Doom box? So it is a box where items are quickly thrown together to hide clutter, often a mix of random stuff with no immediate decisions made. And it's a temporary fix that grows into a long-term problem. So the term Doom box was sort of gained popularity in 2021 on platforms like TikTok. And they are stashed items instead of organizing them immediately. And Doom stands for didn't organize, only moved, which I love. And I've heard the term for quite a while, but I didn't realize that that's what the acronym actually was. But it makes complete sense when you think about it. Didn't organize, only moved. But I think Doom really gives you that impression of it's just the big box of mess. And we're going to look at those big boxes of mess today. So as we said, they often, a Doom box accumulates because someone might be coming over for dinner or something, quickly grab all the stuff off the kitchen table or in the kitchen, throw it in a box, and it's a way to clear the surfaces quickly without making too many decisions, which can be quite difficult for people at times. Here's a few reasons why Doom boxes happen, and I'd love to hear if you have some additional things to add to this. Doom boxes often happen due to emotional connections to the items. So they pick up an item, they're a bit overwhelmed by it. They don't know where it goes, who it belongs to, whether they even want it or not. So it gets stuffed in the box. Doom boxes often happen because there is a lack of time or a feeling of lack of time and a feeling of overwhelm. And there's no permanent home for the item. So rather than put it back where it lives, these are just quick fixes that chuck it all in a box before, as I said, guests come or the cleaners come before someone needs to get to that particular area or that surface. So as I said, let me know if there's any other reasons why piles of stuff or Doom boxes accumulate at your home. So as I said, the three things we're going to look at today is the emotional connection to our stuff as a reason for these things accumulating, a lack of time and feeling overwhelmed, and also that there's no permanent place for their stuff. So firstly, let's have a look at the emotional attachment to our stuff. Strong emotions lead to memories and can often make it hard to let go of an item, even if it's broken, we don't use it, it's too small, it's damaged, all of the excuses. But, it belongs to us and I have a strong attachment to it. There might be guilt over gifts or heirlooms or expensive things that leads to stashing instead of deciding to either keep or let it go. A Doom box is a little bit of a limbo land. Haven't made a decision really to keep it, haven't made a decision to let it go. And the emotional overwhelm causes people a delay to start sorting and creating more and more Doom boxes. And they just continue to grow. So we're going to look at breaking that cycle today. So also the next point of why Doom boxes happen being a lack of time and a feeling of overwhelm. There's too much to do in the time that I've got. We all know that life is very busy. It's full on. There's no time to stop and sort, or a feeling of no time to stop and sort. And organizing feels like a luxury, not a priority. And the idea of I'll deal with that later becomes a habit. So we're going to have a look at some ways that we can make time to start to tackle some of these things and try and get rid of that feeling of the overwhelm and the lack of time, because we all have the same amount of time. We all have 168 hours a week. As I said right at the start, my business, Space and Time, is all about making conscious choices on how we use that time. And I would love for us to be putting more time and energy into decluttering and organizing our spaces to help us with that overall well-being that we spoke about at the start. So the lack of time makes small tasks snowball into bigger piles. Finding the right home takes time and energy. We're going to look at that today. And the doom boxes grow when life moves faster than we can tidy. And the third reason that I've found that doom boxes accumulate is there's no permanent home. I've sat down a number of times, a lot of times, not a number, a lot of times to help people unpack their doom boxes. But as soon as we do that, we start to get these bits and pieces, and we'll go through the process in a second, but there's just nowhere to put it. We might have a collection of batteries or something as simple as the scissors, but it's like, well, where does that go? And they haven't made that decision. So then it makes it really difficult to be able to put things away if there's no permanent home. So again, we're going to look at that today. So if there's no permanent home, things just get dumped in the box or a bag. I've seen doom boxes, doom bags, or even just doom piles in people's homes. Bags is actually quite a good one. Shopping bags just full of paperwork, that sort of thing. And as I said before about our clients come to us for many reasons. They've been told they're lazy, they're messy, they need to throw these things out. They're not lazy, and they're often trying to do too many things. There's just no clear system for how to put things away. Again, we're going to look at that. And there's no permanent place, which means there's ongoing mess. If anyone's got doom boxes at their home, pop some comments in the chat. Does this sound like something that is happening at your house? Is it the connection to stuff? Is it a lack of time and no permanent homes that are causing these doom boxes? Let me know in the chat, or as I said, unmute yourself. But there is hope. Today we're going to ask, where this item should live and why we want it to live in that permanent home in that particular spot. Because giving things a home is the key to avoiding these doom boxes. We get home from work and we want to unpack our bag. We know where things go straight away. We can put our keys in a particular spot. We can do all of these things right there and then, rather than just drop it on the dining room table, which might end up getting scooped into a doom box down the track. And that's where the 6 steps of the Space and Time organizing system comes in. We're going to go through those steps in a minute. And if you've been here to one of my workshops before, you would have heard these 6 steps. We will go through them, and these 6 steps work. And I'm going to tell you something in a second about these steps that I almost changed for the doom boxes today, but I'll have a look at that in a sec. But as I said, there is hope. We're going to look at ways to stop those doom boxes from accumulating. So these are these 6 steps of the Space and Time organizing system. Starting with step 1, which is stop the stuff. Step 2, your commitment to being organized. Step 3, sort the stuff. Step 4, things you no longer need, which is the decluttering step. Easy storage, and then maintenance. So this is normally the process I use when we are working with clients. I'd arrive at their home and we would talk about where the stuff comes from, which we will go through in a second, and continue through the steps. But with this one, and as I said, I almost turned it around to start with the easy storage for your stuff. I almost started there. Easy storage is deliberately put in quite late in the system, but when we're talking about piles of things and know where for them to go, as I said, I almost started by talking about storage, but I'm going to stick to our system today and explain as we go through how I almost swap them around today in relation to Doom boxes. So let's have a look at step 1 of the space and time organizing system. And we're talking about the Doom boxes and understanding where stuff comes from. So if we've got a Doom box sitting in front of us, we could sort of start to have a bit of a look what's in there. And that can help us with some wider decisions about what we bring into our home. It really is difficult to declutter and get organized if you've still got more things from coming into the home. So you've still got Temu or Shein orders coming in. There's still stuff from Amazon coming in. You're still overbuying stuff for the pantry. The kids have got way too many clothes than they need. We're still buying, and things are still coming in, but not necessarily buying either. We're often being given things, or we pick them up off the side of the road. So this first step is really a good audit and a time to stop and reflect on where all the stuff comes from. As I said, we can put our head in a box and have a look at some of the stuff that's accumulating, but we really need to take it wider than that. And as I said, this is why this step is number 1, and I didn't start with the storage today, because we really need to be mindful about what we bring into our house. We can't get anywhere. We can't make any progress. We can't break the cycle of stopping these Doom boxes from accumulating if we keep bringing more things into the home. So as I said, we want to do an audit of our home and have a look at where the stuff is coming from, and where do you stash the stuff as well. In this step 1 of the space and time organizing system, stop the stuff, we can have a look at where we're stashing things. Often is hidden out of sight. The things accumulate in our living spaces, but they're often put in spare bedrooms, in walk-in robes, in bedrooms. I've got kitchens there, and I have seen Doom boxes stashed in kitchens, but they're often, as I said, put away out of sight, and they often continue to grow and grow. And we also mentioned about what sort of things are in those Doom boxes that are growing and gathering as we continue to add to them. Before I go on to that step, let me just have a look at the chat. So as I said, step 1, stop the stuff is all about having a good think about what's coming in. Stick your nose in a box, see what's there, starting to think, oh, okay, I think the kids have got enough stationery now. I think they've got enough Lego. I think I have enough quilting fabrics. Starting to think and change our mindset about what we are surrounding ourselves with, and going right back to the idea of space and time, making those conscious choices with how we use our space and our time. Let me have a look at the chat before I move on. What are people saying? Hello, Mary Lou, my awesome assistant. She has said hello to us in the chat. Hello, Kim. Looking forward to seeing you again in person soon. You are welcome. I am enjoying presenting this. Linda says, recent tips that I've gained from you, Julie, thank you, you are welcome, and that are working for me. You don't need to separate a big slab of time. It makes sense to chip away at decluttering. Any decluttering is beneficial, and the system, find the simplest way to declutter. Perfectionism is a drag on decluttering and starting and completing tasks. Thank you, Linda. That is so cool. I love to hear that chipping away in little bits of time, and we're about to look at that in the third step. I'm glad chipping away is working. And I'm also glad to hear that finding the simplest way to just get it done. It doesn't need to be pretty. Again, we're going to look at my laundry cupboard shortly, which is very ugly, but works well. And yes, perfectionism can get in our way. And we do have a whole workshop coming up on perfectionism shortly. Thank you, Philippa, for cheering on Linda. and keep those comments coming in the chat. I really appreciate your feedback. So that was all about stopping more stuff from coming in the front door. We are still thinking about doom boxes, and we are moving on to step 2, your commitment to being organized. Unfortunately, there is no magic wand. I would love to be able to invent one and you just walk around and go, and your space is perfect, but that's not possible. But we can do it in little chunks, like Linda just said. And being organized does take time. It does take commitment, focus, and persistence. And we just keep chipping away. I'm pretty sure that if these piles of things, these doom boxes have accumulated in your home, that it didn't just go overnight and appear. It would have gathered over time. So we want to do the reverse now and work to get back on top of it. And in this session today, we're looking at you, not your husband, not the kids. We're going to get you sorted today and your stashing and dashing. And Linda was way ahead of me. She is talking about step number 2, about just putting little bits of time aside in the diary to get started on tackling some of these doom boxes, and also tackling what's in the doom box, but also some systems going forward. So it might be 10 minutes a couple of times a day. It might be 2 hours on a Thursday, but we're just going to do little bits. We don't have to put the whole week aside. We don't have to put a whole day aside, little bits and pieces, and literally put that time in the diary for you. We know what it's like when you want to try and catch up with a girlfriend for a coffee. It takes backwards and forwards and moving times around. We need to take that commitment to this work as we would if we wanted to catch up with a friend, because it's just as important, and it really needs to be in a calendar, whether it's your online Google Calendar or your printed diary, paper diary. Literally put those appointments in and start making being organized something that's important to you. The second point there is start by dealing with what's in your hand. So let's not make any more doom boxes going forward. Let's start to deal with what's in your hands. As I said before, come home from work, unpack your bag, put the keys away, unpack your lunchbox and put it in the dishwasher, or quickly wash it out by hand and put it in the dish drainer. Thinking about that stuff that we've got in our boxes when we're doing that audit, let's stop it from accumulating more by dealing with what's in your hand. There's another phrase called don't put it down, put it away. So don't just drop it on the dining room table. Find a spot for it to go. And this is going to help us do what organized people do and be an organized person and stop some of these doom boxes from accumulating. It's a really good place to start with just a few minutes at a time. And also we want to look at the third step, which is sort the stuff. Don't forget to use the chat if you want to ask a question, or you didn't understand some Aussie-ism that I said. Ask me in the chat a question. I'll have a look at it for you, because I know I'm speaking fast. I've got a lot of things to say. So this third step, sort the stuff, would be, get yourself one of the boxes and start to sort like items together. So if you had a box of stuff, you could put all the all the stationery items together. You could put all the batteries together. You could put all the electrical cords together, your tech. All of those like items we would get sorted. So this third step is not about deciding what to keep and what to let go, which might be just too overwhelming at the moment. Remember, we were talking about the emotional nature of our stuff and how it's hard to make decisions. This is all about just making it look neat and tidy so that we can give our brain a better chance of deciding what to keep and what to let go. And as that bottom point says there, we're not deciding each items fate yet. It's just about order and clarity so that our brain works a little bit better. So with this third step, there is a lot more detail that we can go into. And if you've been to one of our sessions before, you would have heard me talk about how to go about this sorting. But I really do want to get to the permanent homes for things today, because as I said, I think that is a big part of why these doom boxes accumulate. So we'll share some links to some of our other sessions we've had in the past that talks about sorting a little bit more detail. So it is really important. As I said, it's a great way to just get started on the decluttering, putting like items together and not deciding whether it's staying or going just there yet. That will be in the next step. Let me have a look at the chat before I go any further. Rosemary says, I can hear my mother's echo, a place for everything and everything in its place. Rosemary, you are so true. That's a great one, isn't it? A place for everything and everything in its place. Thank you for sharing. MJ, great to have you here. I must learn not to procrastinate things that I can do for the day. Yes, so if you can do it in a couple of seconds, couple of minutes, try and get it done on the spot. I do know some of you that are on the call today are in a caring role. Some of you have been unwell. I appreciate the fatigue can be big for everybody. So that's why we're looking at just little pockets of time, not procrastinating, and just getting things done, and making a start. Don't have to get it all done in the one time. Just try and make a start. Mary had her hand up. Did Mary want to ask a question? I think she put her hand down again. Was there a question? Unmute yourself.
Back to their talks, I can't find the chat. I was looking for the chat and I don't have a chat option on mine.
Are you on an iPad or?
A tablet, it's Samsung.
Yeah, someone else might be able to help with that. I think it is in a different spot because on my computer it's down the bottom, the chat. But is there should be like a little menu bar and it should just say chat. I don't know whether it's up the top on a tablet. Does anybody else have any ideas for Mary?
Sorry, I just wanted to say about moving, that's all. So
moving home?
Yeah, I've moved about 5 times in 4 years and it's just box after box after, and everything ended up in bags and boxes, and
absolutely
it's hard when you don't have stability. Like you need to give some time to find new places in the new organization.
Yeah, that's so true, Mary. That's right. You haven't got the time to unpack it because there's uncertainty as well as there's not. And sometimes when you're moving often, there is just no time in between those moves to be able to unpack it. So thanks for sharing that. Linda says, if there are 3 dots somewhere on your screen, Mary, that can reveal the drop-down menu which shows the chat. So maybe, Mary, that might help. 3 dots somewhere on your screen to be able to find the chat menu. Thanks, Linda. Appreciate that. Pip says on the laptop, it's down the bottom, chat. Yes, that's what mine says, but it's a little bit different on the tablet, I think, but hopefully Mary will be able to find it. Thanks, everybody, for your help. So we were just talking about sorting the items and we are moving along. So we talked about stopping more things from coming in. And the first step, your commitment to being organized, which is start dealing with what's in your hands and not dropping stuff and creating more doom box. Start telling yourself, I am an organized person, and start doing what organized people do. And that is making time for decluttering and organizing. Those little chunks of time really can make a difference. And then we started to sort the stuff. As I said, there's a lot more detail for sort the stuff, but I wanted to get through to the next 3 steps, which are really important in relation to doom box. But check out our YouTube channel for some of those other declutter your life and other specific areas where we talk about sorting the stuff more. But it is really important to get started as well, is sorting. So we're going to get on to the next stop. The next step now, things you no longer need. As I said, this is the decluttering step. but it's decluttering didn't fit into the word system, so that's why it's things you no longer need. So this step is all about letting go to make space for what's important. So we want to let go of the shoes we're not wearing so that we can put the shoes away that we are wearing. We want to let go of the latest, one of the old gadgets in your kitchen to make room for the new gadget. So we want to let go of stuff to make up room for the important things. And this step, it really helps us get clear of what we want to keep and what to let go to clear up our physical and mental clutter. And the previous 3 steps have helped us get to this point. As I said, I was very tempted to start with storage today, but it still makes more sense to have these 3 steps ahead of this one in particular, you know, to start getting in the right mindset. And I didn't say at the start, let's go and buy $400 worth of containers from Kmart to get the storage sorted, because we really do need to go through those first 3 steps to help us with the decluttering, and then the next step, which is the storage. So step 4, things you no longer need. The decluttering step is the time to be able to let go of the things we no longer need or use. We want to start with the easy choices, you know, the low-hanging fruit, which can be the duplicates and the broken items. So if you've got 5 pairs of sneakers, maybe you might only need to keep 2 of them. Let go of the other 3 that aren't working for you, don't fit correctly, or you know, you're just not wearing anymore. They're not cool anymore. So let go of those duplicates, and also let go of broken items. We really all do try and recycle or repurpose where we can, but sometimes things are just broken and they need to go in the rubbish bin. So again, we try and do what we can to be able to, you know, pass them on to someone or get them fixed, but sometimes things need to go in the rubbish, so or be recycled. So some of these easy choices are a great place to start. When I'm working with a client, we'll often walk around and grab the rubbish to go in the landfill and grab the recycling, like the cardboard, the glass, and those sorts of things in a home, in a space that we're working, which is a really good way to start a nice quick win with these easy choices around the home. Sorry, that was very quick. So again, there's a lot more details in some of our other workshops about things you no longer need to help you decide what to keep and what to let go. But this next step is really important. So I want to jump into that about storage. But hopefully those 3 steps that we did before, you know, stopping more things from coming in, your commitment to being organized, and the sorting can really help us decide what we're going to keep and what we can let go. We want having a think about, you know, what do we want to surround ourselves with? What do we want our home to look like? And then we can start to let things go, because the things that we often hang on to from our past no longer serve us. So we can let them go, pass them on to somebody else, and we can clear up the space for the items that we are using. Just let me look at the chat before we move on. Thank you, Mary Lou. She has more instructions there for Mary. I'll just read. Mary, did you find the chat? Give me a thumbs up or something. She says, Mary Lou says, on the iPad, tap anywhere on the screen to reveal the Zoom controls if they're not already visible. So hopefully that might have helped. All right. Let me, oh, she's got a thumbs up. Awesome. Good-o. Thanks, Mary Lou, and well done, Mary. Let's move on to the 5th step, easy storage. As we said at the start of this program today, some of the reasons why doom boxes accumulate is the emotional connection to stuff, and some points in the previous step, things you no longer need, can help you let go of those items, no matter how strong the connection is to. And also another reason why doom boxes are accumulating is a lack of time, or feeling like there's no time and there's overwhelm and not knowing where to start. So these steps today have been being able to make time by going through your commitment to being organized. So that was emotional connection and a lack of time. So we've sort of gone through two of them. And the other reason I often find that doom boxes accumulate is the lack of permanent homes or easy storage for the item. So let's have a look at some of these things to help us get started. The reason it's called easy storage is because it needs to be easy or it just won't happen. I know myself as a professional organizer, I've been doing this for 10 years. My business turned 10 earlier this year. If it's not easy, if I have to move something away to get to a cupboard to put something away, even me with all my experience, I'll put it on top of the cupboard and I'll walk off because we just haven't got the time to fluff around. So it needs to be easy. And as I said, we were creating permanent homes in this step. It needs to be easy to retrieve and easy to put back. So if you go into the pantry, it's easy to see where the caster sugar is, so you can grab it. But then maybe you might have a label on the shelf or a basket or something to be able to help you put it back, to know where the spot is to put it back to. So we're going to set up some systems with our storage to help us prevent the doom boxes from accumulating, because we can just put things away where they live, or when we're ready to tackle some of those doom boxes, to put stuff away. As I said, it's deliberately in this step, the 5th step of the system, because we've already done our decluttering. We've got more of an idea now, with the decluttering done, how much stuff we've got, how many pairs of shoes we've got. So we will have a better idea on how big our shoe rack needs to be, or where in the home our shoes might need to go. Or in this case, we know we've got, of this pantry, the picture on the right, we know we've got 25 spice jars that we use regularly. We want to have the space for them. So we've gone through all the 4 steps beforehand to know that this is the stuff we're going to keep. Let's set up their permanent homes. As I said, we can label the box or the shelf or the container, and making it easy for you, your family, or any outside help you've got coming into the home. So using storage items like a basket or a container or a tub is a tool. So this storage item is a tool. And a tool is something that helps you do a task easier. But the tools are not magic. The containers, boxes and baskets are tools because they help us get organized, but they don't go and suck everything back into that basket at the end of the day. We need to be able to return things to their permanent homes at the end of the day, because unfortunately the basket won't do it for you. So you need to keep up with the systems that we put in place, and particularly a system that's going to work for you. That I was working with a client last week, and she had a collection of electrical devices plugged in to this power board, and we were going to move them. And I just said to her, because she had 3 hair or a hair straightener, a hair dryer, and a different type of hair thing, so 3 of them. I said that when I finish with my hair dryer every day, I wind up the cord and put a, the zip tie around it that's attached. I said, is that something you will do? And she said, no, I won't do that. So I said, okay, we won't worry about you winding up your cords at the end of the day. Let's work around the right storage for you without you having to do that. So as I said, these tools are not magic, but if we use the right tool, then we've got more of a chance of continuing on with the system going forwards, if it's not too complicated, if it's nice and easy. So what we're doing here is we're getting it organized, but we're not making it look beautiful. If you want to, you can knock yourself out and get all the containers and things, but we're not. Mary shared was it Mary? Somebody shared earlier about not being too much of a perfectionist and not procrastinating too much. Let's just get this done as simply as we can. And if we have time later, we can make it beautiful. But at the moment, let's just get you sorted. Let's set up some permanent homes. Let's get some storage so that it's easier for you and your family. Now, there are about 1 billion different storage options online that you can use for decluttering and organizing and storage. So I won't go into too many of them here, but this is something that you could look up yourself. If you've got a deep pantry, you can do a Google search, show me an image of storage options, easy storage options for deep pantry shelves, and it might come up with a few ideas for your specific area. But I'm just going to give you a few ideas here which might help with your easy storage. So this is on the left, just a Perspex container. You could use a box as well, just to put little bits and pieces together so they're not toppling over everywhere and keeping like items together. On the right is a tub inside a cupboard. So rather than stick your head in the cupboard and try and get something at the back of the cupboard, it works like a drawer. So you're sliding it in and out so you can reach things at the back of the cupboard. This is one of my drawers at home, just with a couple of Perspex containers in it to keep like items together. All the ice cream making machine bits go in the front and all the NutriBullet stuff go in the back. Simple storage. This is my Tupperware at home. Buying the right, start again. Have an idea of, particularly in a pantry, how much of stuff you use. My flour and self-raising flour are only 1 kilogram each there. I'm not doing a lot of baking at the moment, and I can just put the whole container put the whole bag of flour in the container. So have a think, if you're talking about easy storage for your pantry, having a think about how much of these food items you use, and buying that size at the supermarket and having the right size container for it to fit into. So thinking about what works for you and the family. This is talking about photos, digital photos, and organizing your photos is a whole different workshop, but you can make some beautiful coffee table books quite easily with different apps, or on your phone or on your computer for storing or easy storage of your photos so that you can print them out, get them professionally printed, and have them on your coffee table ready to look at any time. Or it might be something very simple with your photos here. Just a box, and do a little bit of sorting, maybe through the decades or family members. Again, how much time do you want to spend on your organizing and this particular project of photo storing and organizing? Up to you how much time you want to spend on it. And as I said, it doesn't have to be pretty. This is my laundry cupboard here at home. We've lived in this home for 22 years. These boxes have been in the laundry, and those things are still in those boxes from all of that time. I could have found something else to make it look more beautiful, but I spent a little bit of time at different stages looking for those right size containers, but those ones fit. It works perfectly fine for me and my family. You might look at it and go, oh, that's ridiculous. I want it to look better than that. You do you. We'd love for you to figure it out and have it work really well for you. But as I said, it doesn't have to be pretty, just get it done. So that was all about storage. Let me have a quick look at chat before I go. Mary, thank you. She said, my mum tends to dismantle any system I try to implement. You are right, Mary. It is tricky when other people are around and meddling in your system. But I think we probably just need to keep trying and upkeep our systems as much as we can. And then if there's a family system that needs to be involved where other people do meddle in it, maybe we can make it even simpler for them. We'd love to talk to you more, Mary, about what some of those systems might be. All right, let's have a look at maintenance. We're doing good. We've got just the right amount of time to wrap this up. So this sixth step, the sixth step of the space and time organizing system maintenance, is all about keeping the momentum going, and decluttering and organizing is not just something we do every now and then. It's maybe we might do some deeper decluttering every 6 months or every 12 months. But the maintenance is something we want to do each and every day. It's not just a one-time job. So decluttering is the start, and the real challenge is to maintain the order, to be able to continue on and continue to embrace the daily habits to maintain an organized space. So that, as I said, I've said it a couple of times about dealing with what's in your hand. Don't dump it, put it away, and really start to work hard to keep surfaces clear. Have some good rules and boundaries in your home. Like, this is not a dumping area. Write yourself a note on the kitchen table, and start to continue to grow these spaces that are not dumping areas. And again, make a commitment to yourself of not growing more doom boxes as well. And as it says, embrace daily decluttering habits to maintain an organized space. So you might put on your running shoes and then look at all the other running shoes and go, hang on a minute, I only wear this pair. The others can go. Or you might be making dinner and you find 16 wooden spoons, which I have done at a client's home before, and you go, I don't need all these wooden spoons, and some of them can go. So it can be a daily decluttering habit. And that second point there says sort through your doom boxes every day. So you might have a doom box detonation time each day, like half an hour each day. We might look at a doom box and start to put the items away and put them back to their permanent homes. Some of them can go, we can declutter them, or returning things to their permanent home. And as I said, don't forget to use your calendar. Schedule the time in the calendar to get this important stuff done, because making time to declutter and get organized is a life-changing skill. And I'd really love you to establish a weekly planner and routines to keep things in order, whether it's a morning routine, afternoon, kids are home from school routine, I'm going out with a girlfriend for lunch routine, to remind you how things go so that these doom boxes don't accumulate again. Or the girls are coming over for lunch, you know, let's set up a routine a few days ahead or a week ahead before the girls are coming for lunch to be able to put things away properly rather than stuff it in a box. Plan the time in the calendar. And once we get ourselves organized and we're on top of our own clutter, then we can start to get the family involved by setting some house rules and promoting teamwork, and getting them involved, helping them in their spaces, not just tidy up your room. Hopefully, maybe if you've got kids, standing side by side with them, asking them, be curious, why do you put it there? Again, not why do you put that there, like being accusing, more of being curious and understanding what's going to work for them. And how can we get the family on board and help maintain our good home that we are setting up with these decluttering and organizing sessions. So seek accountability and community support to stay organized. So get some friends around. I hear many stories my clients tell me, often mother and daughter or sisters, that they take it in turns to do each other's pantry. So one week they'll go and do mum's pantry, and the next week they'll go and do the daughter's pantry. So you could absolutely do this with doom boxes as well. You could even do it online, an accountability time like this with another friend. They're doing their decluttering and unpacking doom boxes at one end, and you're doing your own. You might, again, get it in the calendar, get Zoom happening, and set up a time, maybe an hour, half an hour, to get that support, but also get professional help. If you're in Melbourne, my team and I would love to work with you here, hands-on, with your decluttering and organising. Or if you're somewhere else in the world, I'll tell you a bit more about our Get and Stay Focused program in a sec. We can do that on Zoom. Or you might have a professional organiser in your area that can help you as well. And as we go and we get better at this, our decluttering and organising muscles get better, we can continuously adjust and adapt your organising systems to suit you and your family. Let me check the chat before I recap. One chat, thank you. Linda says decluttering equals organisation and habits. Absolutely. Habit creation, breaking bad habits. I found the book by James Clear, Atomic Habits, was terrific. There are little helpful summaries of the book on the internet that you can access the book. You don't have to read it all. I'm leaving so early. You are welcome. Thank you. I really appreciate that, Linda. And she probably has gone because she posted that a couple of seconds ago. James Clear book is awesome. Atomic Habits. I have it. Where is it? I do have a copy somewhere. I can't see it at this moment, but I do have it. And that book helped me give up drinking 5 years ago. I decided, well, the reward wasn't actually what I was after from drinking alcohol. So I just stopped drinking thanks to that book. So check it out. It will certainly help you with your decluttering and organising. Yes. Sorry, I'm just trying to read some of these things while my mind is racing. Let's do a quick recap as we finish off. If I've missed anything, ask me in the chat, or we will have a little bit of time for Q&A in a second. But with our recap, we did a bit of a audit at the start to have a look what's accumulating, where are these doom boxes accumulating, and making deliberate choices about what to bring into the home just by being aware of what is accumulating around the house. As I said, you might have a huge pile of Lego and we might go, I think we have enough Lego now. Or, oh, there's a big pile of paperwork. Let's stop bringing more paper in, those sorts of things. So doing this audit can be really helpful. And understanding the emotional connections and a lack of time that lead to the creation of these doom boxes, just by knowing that that's what's happening, is really helpful. As I said, this has been a really good starting point for identifying some of these things and stopping more stuff from coming in. We also talked about making dedicated time to tackle our doom boxes and sort like items together. And then once we'd also decluttered, we started to set up our permanent homes, ensuring that everything we decide to keep, remember we're deciding, not just assuming that it's going to stay, we allocate a permanent home for it. And creating organised spaces eliminates the need for quick stashing in the future, because we are just automatically putting things away as we go, or we might want to do a quick tidy up before people come. My sister is coming to visit tomorrow. I will be doing a bit of a tidy up around my own home tomorrow because there is washing out. I know there's some toys my kids don't want anymore, so they're on my dining room table. I need to tidy them up. And I actually have a hallway full of things that belong to other people that I'm distributing through the community. They can stay there for now. But once we are doing this decluttering as we're going, tidying up is a lot easier when people are coming over, because there's not quite so much as there once may have been. And then we're talking about maintenance. So we're building our long-term habits by incorporating a regular decluttering routine, putting that time in the diary, staying accountable. Don't just go, rather than do this that I've got in the calendar, I might go and wash the cat or paint the lawn, like, you know, coming up with some bizarre excuse. Keep yourself accountable and reward yourself with the progress as well. Keep yourself a pat on the back. Do a dance, do a jig, because any progress is great progress. So I promised you a little bit of detail about our Get and Stay Focused 6-week program. This is a one-on-one program. We'll send details this afternoon when we send a summary email and a link to the recording today with some more details about this. 6 weeks, you and me, 1 hour each week. If some of these things are just getting too difficult for you, you haven't been able to make the time to do it, you're procrastinating, it seems overwhelming, you and me, let's do it with the Get and Stay Focused program. The link Mary Lou has just put in the chat. Would love to work with you to help you take control of your life. Our next workshop is in 2 weeks, Tips to Overcome Perfectionism when Decluttering. Haven't done this one for a very long time. I look forward to sharing tips around that. And a couple of you did already say in the chat today that perfectionism does accumulate and so lead to doom boxes. So come along to this session. Mary Lou has put the link to register for that one in the chat. And then the one after that is time management for busy people. So rather than focus on decluttering and organizing our space, we're going to be decluttering and organizing our time and making time for the important things. So that's the next sessions that we have coming up. Oh, and then one more, decluttering keepsake. So if some of the reasons that you are putting your doom boxes together is that because of sentimental items, come along to this one, Keepsakes Declutter, and we'll share some tips about that one. And just for coming along today, I'd love to offer you a 15-minute chat on Zoom. If you've got anything you want clarified, I did speak to Mary during the week. It was awesome to talk to her, to clarify some things for her and create some time for her to be doing some of these things. Would love to talk to you as well about that. Make a plan specifically for you. Book with the link that Mary Lou has sent. Now we are done there. Let me stop my sharing. Oops. Hang on. Let's just go this back here again. I'm going to have a look at the chat as well. Looking at, thank you for the links, Mary Lou, for the coaching 6-week Get and Stay Organized, tips to overcome perfectionism, time management for busy people, Keepsakes Declutter, and the clarity call. And that's my email there. Any other questions before we wrap up? Look at that, 1 minute. I love it. Try to be punctual. If you do have any other questions, feel free to email me, julie@spaceandtime.com.au. The email is in the chat as well, julie@spaceandtime.com.au. But looking forward to seeing you at the next one. But yeah, if there's any questions you have about any of that today, would love to hear from you. But see you again very soon. Thank you all. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, let me stop the record.